So Mike Tyson just outclassed Jake Paul in an intense sparring session, and it has sent shockwaves through the fight world. Get this, the boxing world had been counting down the days to see Mike Tyson and Jake Paul finally face off in the ring, and guess what? It looks like those prayers were answered. Weeks before their highly anticipated fight on November 15th, 2024, these two titans faced off in an intense sparring session that shocked the entire boxing community. Now, let's be real for a second when news broke about 27-year-old Jake Paul stepping into the ring with a man pushing 60. Boxing pros and pundits were convinced this matchup was a recipe for disaster. Everyone thought they knew what would happen. The problem child's youth would either overpower an aging Tyson, or Tyson's legendary power would crush Jake, but what actually went down, it had the entire boxing world scratching their heads. So what actually went down in the gym when these sparred? Well, I've got the whole scoop right here for you. On Friday, September 20th, Jake and Mike threw down in what was supposed to be just a sparring session, but trust me, it was anything but. These two squared up to see where they stood ahead of their big fight. And let's just say Jake's got a lot of work to do. Tyson didn't just beat Jake, he schooled him like it was 1988 all over again. Fans everywhere shook. I mean, who expects a dude pushing 60 to be throwing punches like he's still in his prime? Right?
Walk it out.
And obviously the type of style Mike adopts.
Now, let's be real for a second. Most of us thought this sparring session would just be a friendly back and forth. Maybe Jake lands a few, maybe Tyson shows he's still got some moves. But nah, Tyson came in ready to remind the world exactly who he was, the same guy who destroyed Trevor Berbick to become the youngest heavyweight champ. Yeah, that guy's back, and Jake's the one who's got to deal with it. People thought Tyson was past his prime, but turns out this fight isn't just against a 58-year-old, it's against Mike Tyson, the one who made heavyweight legends look like amateurs. Remember Tyson's fight against Larry Holmes in '88? Holmes was a legend, a past champ who had only been knocked down once in his whole career. Tyson wasn't pleased. He knocked Holmes down 3 times in the same round, leaving the dude flat on the canvas, wondering what just hit him in the fight with. Michael Spinks came in undefeated, and Tyson ended that run in 91 seconds. It wasn't just a knockout, it was an obliteration. That's the Tyson Jake's dealing with now. Not some old-timer looking for one last paycheck. Nope, Tyson's in this to tell the world he's still got that killer instinct.
You gotta be ready to eat some jabs, as you can see here.
So back to the practice session. The word is Mike was moving like he was back in his prime, slipping punches, ducking, weaving, and throwing bombs that had Jake on his heels the entire time. Fans watching couldn't believe it. Tyson's power hasn't gone anywhere. Don't get me wrong, Jake did his thing. 2, he threw some good punches and tried to stick and move, but Tyson's ring IQ is off the charts. Every time Jake tried to come in, Mike was already gone, slipping punches and coming back with counters that had Jake second-guessing himself. The movement, the defense, it's like Tyson hit rewind, and we're all watching him in his prime. And you know those body shots had Jake rethinking his whole life. Tyson's body shots are famous for a reason, and Jake got a front row seat to the pain. If you think this was just some light sparring, think again. Tyson didn't hold back the way he cornered Jake, putting him on the ropes and unloading with those combos. It wasn't pretty. And let's talk about Tyson's signature peekaboo defense. The man was slipping Jake's punches like they were nothing, coming back with those quick, sharp counters that probably had Jake seeing stars. This is the same defense that kept Tyson untouchable in the 90s. And now Jake just got a taste of it. The craziest part, he had to get carried out of the gym in a gurney. Yeah, that's how bad Tyson hurt.
Oh yeah, we want to do that.
Let's not forget that Tyson's punches aren't just powerful, they're precision weapons. Back in the day, he wasn't just swinging for the fences. Every punch had a purpose, and it looks like nothing's changed. The way Tyson was picking Jake apart and sparring, landing shots with pinpoint accuracy, it was like watching a master at work. Fans thought Tyson was going to be slowed down by age, but nah, the dude's still a beast, and Jake just got hit with the reality check. Now imagine being Jake right now. You've just stepped in the ring with one of the most dangerous fighters in history, thinking you've got a shot, and then bam, Tyson reminds you exactly why they call him Iron Mike. The truth is, Jake's not just facing any 58-year-old, he's facing the same Tyson who took down Trevor, BK, Frank, Bruno, Larry Holmes, and Spinks, the guy who became a living legend. And if sparring is any sign of what's coming on November 15th, Jake better be ready for a war. Tyson isn't just here to show up, he's here to win. Tyson may be older, but he's still the baddest man on the planet, and Jake just found that out firsthand. And let's be honest, this fight just got a lot more interesting. The boxing world was already hyped, but now it's next level. Tyson showed that even after all these years, he still got the power, the speed, and the mindset that made him a legend in the first place. The proof isn't just in Iron Mike's brutal KO, it's also in his training videos that have been making rounds on the internet for months.
Day 2, I'm getting ready for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1.
This moment wasn't just a loss, it was the end of Jake's fantasy that he could hang with the real pros. The problem child had the whole fight world thinking he was some kind of a list athlete with his cocky personality. His talk of knocking out Tyson was nothing but hype, and now that he's been exposed, In the ring, Jake's credibility has tanked, but let's not forget how Jake's words came back to haunt him during that August 18th press conference. Jake had the audacity to claim that Tyson's time was up, and that he was going to put the old man to rest. Jake said it with his chest too, as if the legendary Mike Tyson was just another name on his hit list. Put this, of course, Jake being Jake couldn't help but run his mouth. He's out here speaking straight from the heart, throwing out claims left, right, and center like it's nobody's business. No filter, no second thought. The problem child's telling everyone he's going to take down the Mike Tyson, the legend himself, self-promising that he's going to be the one to end Tyson's reign and walk away with the win on fight night. But let's be real, bam, Jake finally gets that reality check he wasn't expecting. This isn't a YouTuber or an MMA fighter he's dealing with. This is a guy who's been knocking people's lights out for decades.
You had to go on your little menopause break and postpone the fight, so yeah. What about that, dog? I was ready before. You needed a little break. Your tummy hurt? Your tummy hurt still?
Jake's confidence, it's part of his whole brand, and you got to give him credit for it, but in the ring, confidence alone isn't enough. And after that training session, it's crystal clear Jake still has a long way to go before he can hang with an icon like Tyson. Let's face it, he's been talking a big game for years. But is he really ready for this? Sure, Jake's had some wins. He beat the likes of Ben Askren, Tyron Woodley, and even Anderson Silva. But let's not forget these guys are MMA fighters, not and pro boxers. These aren't the kinds of opponents who will truly prepare you to face a monster like Tyson. Someone who's literally built a career on destroy.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Jake's got some skills, but Tyson just showed him that there's a massive difference between beating YouTubers and ex-MMA guys and actually taking on a legend like him. The tuber-turned-boxer is going to need more than just knockout power and social media hype to get through this one. He's going to need to evolve big time if he even wants to survive the first few rounds. Tyson is calculated, vicious, and ruthless in the ring. He doesn't care about your Instagram followers or how many views you're pulling in. He cares about winning, and he's going to show Jake that firsthand. So while Jake's been running his mouth promising the world that he'll take down Tyson, he's finally met with the reality that he's not quite there yet. The sparring session made it clear he's still got a long way to go before he can truly back up the claims he's been making. Maybe Jake thought his youth and speed would be enough, but when you're in the ring with a legend, all that goes out the window. You think Jake's going to let that slip away? No way. And for Mike, he's still in it to show that he's the king, while also securing that bag. These guys have millions riding on this fight, not to mention the sponsorship deal, the PBB numbers, the merch. There's too much money involved to call it quits now. Even if Jake knows he's in trouble, he's still going to show up and put on a show at the end of the day that bags calling, and both Mike and Jake are here to answer. So that's all I have for you today. What are your thoughts on Mike outclassing Jake? Fill the comment part with your thoughts, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, peace out.